What does a disabled access officer do?
Right, so a DAO ensures access to absolutely everyone who wants to come to the stadium to watch a game of football, making sure that everyone has an enjoyable experience, that feels safe, feel supported and are included as part of the fan base. Basically, I would say that I'm here to enable inclusion, encourage inclusion and promote inclusion. Disability can be visible or hidden, and I think it's more maybe the hidden disabilities that you face a bigger challenge with. Certainly as a club here, I try and ensure that people are aware of hidden disability. In terms of what we do in the stadium, we've got disabled areas for the fan base, but it's included within their fan base. So down the front rows, we've removed some of the seats so that wheelchairs can be back within the seating deck rather than being stuck forward. There are chairs for the companions every few gaps along. If we do have turnstiles, but obviously not everyone can come through a turnstile, absolutely not if you're in a wheelchair or a cart. But equally, you might have someone with a spectrum or whatever that just cannot cope with turnstiles. So it's front door access for anyone who can't cope with turnstiles for whatever reason. Or if it's one of these large mobility carts, that the exit doors in the concourse, we would bring someone directly in there. As a stadium, everything's all in one level, apart from the director's box. That is the only place that it's just not feasible to get someone up to. However, if we do have a visiting director or someone, a director's guest, there is seating down beside the tunnel with some staff so that they would come through that way, so it'll still get in. We've got obviously the kind of practical things like disabled parking, signage. We've got even on the toilet doors, I've got that not every disability is visible because, you know, sometimes people are using a disabled toilet for a reason, but people have got a perception you're not in a chair, you've not got a stick, why are you using that toilet? So it's wee things like that, just trying to kind of prompt. The kiosk staff, they serve people at their seats that are maybe not able to go out. It's always about never making assumptions. It's about people feeling that they're part of the community within the club. It's a very friendly club. We have a community bar and all fans are welcome into that. So the function suites, as I say, you know, are part of the stadium as being fully accessible. So the match day experience is pretty much, you know, as good as it can be for everyone. We've got a loop system as well, obviously for the hard of hearing. We're now actually looking at, for visual impairment, I've been thinking about the fact of you're here, you're getting a match day experience, you're getting the atmosphere, but you've got nothing in terms of commentary. Since COVID, games have been getting streamed. So what we're looking at is a way of someone with a visual impairment getting maybe headphones or whatever so they can access the commentary that the boys are doing on the streaming system, so that they're here at the game but they're listening to the commentary, you know, and hopefully that'll be another wee step towards doing something else. It's always looking at what you can do, where you can go that wee bit extra. We liaise with the visiting team's disability access officer because obviously you'll get visitors coming that may have a particular need, or they're double checking, will I be able to get parked near the door? You know, how can I access because I'm in a wheelchair or whatever. So there's always that liaison with your visiting team.
What are the challenges?
Right, I think in terms of challenges, probably the first thing would be legislation that maybe dictates that certain things must be in place. At Dumbarton, we're very lucky. We really, other than, as I had said earlier, the director's box, that there's really, I don't think there's much in the way of, if legislation changed, that we would have to worry about. We do have, every few years, we get an independent disability access audit carried out. So within that, there would be, obviously, if anything's mandatory that we must do, we would have to, one way or another, figure out a way of doing it. But mostly it's usually recommendations. So again, we'll look at the recommendations, and anything that we can put in place, we do. Because it's always good to have an independent eye coming in. So that is so important to do that. But then you've got the added challenge of, right, you've got these recommendations, so you don't have to do it, but you think, oh, that's a brilliant idea, I want to do that. So you've then got to look at, how do we fund it? Because there's obviously, money is scarce in the ground everywhere for everyone, whether it be clubs at a local level, whether it be SFA, etc. And then there's, of course, there would also be the club board's approval to do that, and doing ongoing risk assessments to ensure that everything that we're doing is satisfactory, to ensure that anyone who's vulnerable with a disability is not going to be impacted. And I guess one of the things that's on the risk assessment is I had said earlier about the seating deck. It's down the front row that we've got the spaces for wheelchairs. So the reality is, if you're sitting watching a football game, a ball at some point is going to come towards you. You'll either put your hands up or whatever, but not everybody can do that. So what we've done is the ball boys and girls, we have them deployed in that area so that at least they're a wee bit of a barrier between the ball and the fans in the front row that can't, put their hands up or whatever, or dodge out the way. So I guess that's kind of the main challenges.
Has having a DAO brought Dumbarton FC closer to the community?
Yeah, I think in terms of the community being aware that regardless of what their personal health is, that we will one way or another try and ensure that they can enjoy the matchday experience without any anxieties, and that they'll just have the same facilities as everyone else. As a club, we are very much community-based anyway. So we've always engaged with the community, where our director, Dr. Neil Mackay, he is involved with some local groups, like one of them's the Alzheimer's group, they have a choir and stuff. So Neil is a great advocate for the groups of people who have got health issues, for trying to engage them with the club. We do activities out with the actual football, and people use the facilities, so it's getting them into the stadium, it's getting them seeing what it's like, and some of them who maybe liked football at one time are getting comfortable with the environment, so that's helping. We also have Antonia, the general manager, she liaises with various people within the community, whether it be schools, care homes, some of these groups as well. We've got regular newsletters that go out just with various promotions. We'll offer complimentary group tickets, group tours, and as I say, a lot of these groups are as people with like MS Society or whatever. So we're constantly having that relationship. They do know that there is someone specifically here that can answer any questions about any personal needs and anxieties. We also have a community rock club. So on a Tuesday afternoon, it was actually started by Jim Smart, our events manager, who's got an entertainment business. He runs the bars. He started this wee group. It's a voluntary group, so I volunteer at it. And it's mainly support workers with their service users that come along. So they have a wee game of bingo, a raffle, a wee bit of karaoke. So we've got to know them. And there's quite a few of them now coming to the games, and we give them complimentary tickets as well. So that's bringing them in. The support workers are obviously speaking to their other colleagues and other care companies, because it's so important that especially support workers with a service user have got somewhere to take the person. There's only so much going a bus run and going to the shops that you can do. So again, that has got some of them quite comfortable with the stadium, and we've got to know them, and it's really, really nice. So I would like to think that me being at the community club now, and to see my face, I'm always at the tunnel or going through the community suite for the supporters bar, talking to everyone, that they're, you get to know people, and that they're getting quite comfortable at coming here now. So yes, I think that has definitely made a big difference. And again, we do try and promote that, it's, if you've got any needs, any questions, any anxieties, please don't hesitate to contact Jacqui.